welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And this morning, as usual, you could pick up your telephone and start the ball going. Some people say you on one subject matter every day. We give you the opportunity to change the subject matter. We are on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We are on We Noise FM in Brooklyn 94.9. You could subscribe to our program, share the program, give us a like. Help us to grow. With this present technology involved, like, share, subscribe. Today, members of the National Democratic Congress, you should be able to defend the government policy. If you are a politico, you are a political activist, you are expected to defend the policy of the government. You should be able to provide some explanation, some justification, some reasons, some rationale for the policy and the policy statements of the government. Otherwise, you're no good. Because you're a political activist. And you expect the NNP in democracy, the NNP going to attack your policy. But you have to explain the policy to the NNP. Otherwise, they go just jump up and attack your policy. Then you have some new individuals in the political arena. They're not directly associated with NNP, but they look like NNP. So they're going to plunder you. They're going to reap havoc. They're going to devastate your policy if you can defend it. You have to understand these people go out and they're looking for argument. So they're going after the most solid NDC political activists. And they're taking him on. They're taking them on. And instead of the defending, they're trying to victimize them and criticize them and go after family members. That's not good. That's a small country. Your family is my family. And if your family don't be my family yet, I have a big family. So while we cussing, we daughter and we son they picking cotton together. You see the problem? So it's better you defend the policy. We have had some major attacks on the NDC. The NDC shut them out. They're not defending it, but they're firing people associated with you. They're victimizing them. How you going to explain that? Now, the people in the diaspora, the NDC supporters in the diaspora, what is the justification today for NDC, the National Democratic Congress under Dick Mitchell, firing low-rank workers in the Ministry of Sports because they don't yellow? The people has been very quiet, you know. They have not been saying a word. One girl tell me she don't go in no NNP meeting. But they say, no matter how she playing quietly, she's a NNP. She'll lose her job after 20 years. Cultureman, call me and tell me if you agree with that. You could never agree with that. Because you know her. She owned the bird line. Some of the hardest people to get a job in Grenada are women between 35 and 60. Let me repeat that. Some of the hardest people to get a job in Grenada are women between 35 and 60. So when they lose their job, it's tears. Particularly in Grenada now, the government throw you out because they find you green. Some of the strong NDC businessman may not employ you because they seems to be following the government policy. A woman between 35 and 60 may well have children in secondary school. One woman told me that the hardest thing when she's daughter wanted to graduate and she had $500 she had to pay, and that before closing. She tell the daughter she don't have money. Daughter say, Mommy, I have to graduate. She said, well, go to the father. The father say he lose his job. And when a man lose his job, and he ain't there with the mother again, children is no longer this big magnet to him. Because the woman he will know, whether it's his child or her children, you have to support them. Remember when night time come here, the girl can Sansanya. Can't go meet out with me. We have to be practical and realistic. So when a woman lost her job, between 35 and 60 is the hardest period. And she lost her job because they say she green. She never go to a political meeting after election. But within small community, you should have talking like NDC. They say she's NNP. You heard Deacon said the only reason why NNP getting assistance is because they don't know who the real NDC is. And we see an upsurge in victimization of workers after that statement, that public statement made by Deacon Mitchell. Now, NDC political activists, do you agree with that? How do you justify that? How do you explain that? You know, it's the sad part. You understand when a top-ranked public officer lost their job? They might have some pride in not wanting to go and get another job for a while, but they have payments coming. They too may have little savings. Any good public officer may have a little saving that could carry them for a couple months. They may even go by Uncle Sam if they have visa and have a little holiday and do security work and construction work and walk down in America and make a little change before they come back. Greater, they don't walk no dog, but they go in America. But when somebody between 35 and 60, a low-rank worker, lost the job, the children in school suffer. Another story once, the woman have 4 children in secondary school. When water more than floor, the boy in Form 1 left school. He said, Mommy, I go help you. So he left school and he go and work construction to help the 3 sisters that was in higher form than him. I said, well, this one is Jesus Christ. There is a major sacrifice. His ending wasn't so good. He did provide immense income to supplement his mother's salary. But he ended up on the block, ended up in conflict with the police, ended up hustling drugs. Eventually, the sisters left school and they did very well. But he didn't end up so good. Now, the National Democratic Congress, we must have a conversation on that. And when I see top NDC people, fraud discussion, they're hiding, and I search for them, When I see them, they hiding. Some of my friends that is NDC, I don't see them in the rum shop no more. When they pass me in the rum shop now, they don't even put in their head in that direction because I would take them out. How do you justify that in Grenada? There was no reason. The National Democratic Congress won election 9 seats. But it was new. And you campaign on the fact that all of you all knew. So people expected for you to forge unity. You had no baggage to carry. Nobody did you all wrong. You wasn't a Kit Mitchell or a Boeing or a Modest or Emlyn Pierre Ben. You were brand new. So you had an opportunity to forge a relationship of unity in the country. You won election on the 22nd. The official result was on the 23rd. By the 5th of July, you started your retributive justice. You had a list of people that lost their job. Now, how do you explain these things? Or you give me a call, man. The number to call is 4420175. We have some technical challenge, so we have to use WhatsApp. Let's go, caller. No, we didn't have it. How do you explain that? I asked the question repeatedly. Why are we fracturing this country? Why the division? It wasn't necessary. You were brand new. You had an opportunity to forge a relationship of unity in this country. You was not under economic problems. You met a treasury that was pregnant. And that is why I said to people repeatedly that the NDC is like a disease. Every time they come in power, it's worse. It's like you have syphilis and you're not taking the medication as prescribed. So you have relapse. They tell you to take 30 tablets, you take 10. You must relapse. They say you have this thing bad. Drink 500 million, not million. Man. The worst thing is to interfere in people thing. Milligram. A tetracycline tablet. You take 10. You stop, see, exudate. You say you're good. You got a relapse. Next time they say drink 50. You take 25. You say, I don't like how you make me feel and I want to drink my rum. It's good. You get a relapse again. So NDCs. So I noticed that a lot of the NDC heavyweights, first time I see you all silence. So I'm calling you all out. You leave the problem, you poor me little cousin Blash. And cousin Blash don't macho. He just come in this thing. So he taking the lies and propaganda, lob, stock and barrel. He jumping up when he see people are victimized. And he attacking those who speaking. He said they own Nutmeg Association. Cousin Blash don't have much sense, you know. Nutmeg is an agent of the NDC. So the propaganda that is made by NDC, them Nutmeg official pushing it out too. And it's rich organization, you can't fight them. But we in Grenada have to be prepared to provide justification and explanation for actions. If we don't, You're going to give people reasons for attacking you more. If you don't, then people are going to believe what Jenny Simon is saying. They're going to believe what On Target is saying. They're going to believe what Real FM is saying. Because you're not answering questions. And the country we are saying, now we start to quote your own ministers. You see how we're quoting the Minister of Finance? We're quoting what the Minister of Legal Affairs said. We're quoting what the Minister of Housing said. All of them are worried that doom and gloom is facing us. Countryman, give me a call. You have WhatsApp. Call me on the WhatsApp. Tell me if you agree with these things in society. We always encourage people to speak. Ask Deacon and the people in the diaspora that created the gala environment. I guess he was so happy and enthusiastic as some of us in Grenada when Deacon said with the stroke of a pen and dramatic change. By now you must be more apprehensive and cautious. And you're hearing what we say. Ask them to give you explanation, to give you justification, to give you reasons why they continue to send people out of the jobs. The women between 35 and 60, particularly low rank women in terms of the pay they will get, socioeconomic status, is the most difficult to get a job in the country. They're losing a job as cleaners, sports people. The NDC is firing them. Not because they are not competent, you know, but because they're not yellow enough. They're not real yellow. Now, how we going to build a country like that? How could we criticize Donald Trump when we permit our leaders here to do that? How could the criticism be justified? Yes, scholar, welcome. Oh. Okay. So you could call us back now on the line. We solve the technical problem. So remember the number to call is 442-0175. You can call us on WhatsApp or you could use the phone. You're walking back again. This is a beautiful country, Grenada. We have had a lot of achievement. The telephone, electricity, water. We second to none. We better than most and comparable with the best. And for those who said nothing has been achieved in the last post-1983, let me tell them something that has been achieved now. Electricity, telephone, water, and internet. Grenada is second to none, better than most, and comparable with the best. We have the most land owners in the region. We have the best network of roads in the region. And anytime you start to talk about roads, you start and stop with NNP. Let me repeat that. Anytime you want to speak of roads in Grenada, you start with NNP and you stop with NNP. At one time, NDC was saying too much road, you can't eat road. You don't go further. Where infrastructure in this country is concerned, Keith Mitchell and NNP are the masters. We have a country that have 100,000 people, thereabout. And the police say we have 68,000 registered vehicles. So we practically have more vehicle than we need. And that shows a sign of discretionary income. At one time, we had 30 radio stations with license. Some of them failed because radio stations are easy to function. But where freedom of the media is concerned, we practically lead in Grenada. That is achievement. Grenada was spending more money on social safety net than most countries in the region. And here I master one. And when I speak, I dare you and I challenge. We had 3 structural adjustment programs in Grenada. And the last structural adjustment program, spearheaded by Kit Mitchell and NNP and the people in finance, never forget the workers in finance. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, my God. Well, when somebody say that I feel sorry for them, I say they're not informed. There, you see that statement you make there? That statement is misleading. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. When the revolution came in, they said they give free. The last statement you made. Most of the statement, but I'm just dealing with the last one. You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you why? And remember in tongue long. So let me tell you why it's missing. And his deception is cruel. They had a policy in Grenada. If you could pay, pay. And if you can't pay, the government will pay. One individual that was involved in a social program, she challenged me 10 years ago, or 10 or 12. If you could find one child in Grenada that cannot go to school because they don't have the money, you just tell me, I'll go and get them. So the government was letting those who could pay, pay. And those who cannot pay, the government was paying for them. When the NDC come and change that policy, they remove transport money from those who couldn't pay. So although they was paying the tuition or whatever, about a couple children that I know drop out from college because they couldn't pay the transportation and uniform fee. Yeah.
In those things. Look at recently, the government had a program sending children could get buses and so on to go to different schools. That's the initiative of the government is to make sure that children don't have to worry about education. So the government has an initiative.
Remember in Tong Long. So you're not speaking to a junior boy. Tell me which parish the government start that program.
What you're doing is zooming in.
Yes, But means a zooming in. The government have a responsibility to seek the interests of those who need the government the most.
Exactly.
If I have a child,
and that is what the former government did not do.
We're speaking about NDC. Which parish that the government implemented the transport program?
Salaries were increased. Like you had people working for $700 now.
You see how you're ducking? Answer the question. Which parish the government introduced the program? Was it St. Patrick's?
Say that again.
Which parish did the government introduce the recent transport program?
Let me tell you this. The government has the right to dish out all programs that is suitable to suit any parish, that will be feasible for students to learn, so they can feel comfortable in a learning environment. So where it started is not so much important. The main thing is the government have a will, and the government have a plan to start programs that will benefit Grenada and a whole lot of our students. Not so?
Answer the question I ask you, man. You see, every time you interject and make a statement and continue.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you can see the leadership of Deacon Mitchell states a lot. Because thus far, look at all the communication. Look at the big African summit they recently had.
You know there is a third meeting of the African day?
Again, we got reviews and news.
You just running, jumping. Stop that.
That's what is taking place in Grenada.
Go ahead.
You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Pierre?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. You did not tell me which parish, and that is why I call Deacon a deceiver of the worst kind. If you have a problem with transportation, you can start it in St. George's. You can start it in St. David's. You have to start it in St. John and St. Patrick's and St. Andrews. You cannot start a transport problem when the majority of children going to school in town and National College. You start it in St. George's. That is deception. The deacon don't even smack. Anybody seeing through that? That con man attitude. How you could start it in St. George's? The majority of secondary schools are in St. George's. National College is in St. George's. So the children living from the country, particularly because of the road condition that going on, that project have to start in the north. St. Patrick's, and when I say the north, St. Patrick's and St. John and Victoria. That's where you have to start. You can't even tell me where you start. You jump to the African meeting. That is another story. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. It's very important for NDC political activists to be able to argue and defend convincingly. People are listening to us. So when you're taking me on, NNP listen, disgruntled NDC listen. Hardline NDC listening to tape me to see if I make mistake so they go sue me. But it is important for the NDC to understand that the message is not defended. When you go back to the Fall Farm, the public punish NNP for the mistakes that they make. That is how NDC win election. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yes, you know, Mr. Pierre, this man is just an idiot for the NDC. The thing about it is that...
It's a good one. The only idiot speaking.
The thing about it is that this guy have hallucinating. Look at the development that NNP brought to Grenada over the years. Look at all the different...
But I'll give you some of them.
The roads, the telephone service, the internet service, the bus terminus, the port project, hotel projects. There are so many projects, the whole educational system. Look at, in any society, you have to look at the poorest when you have to implement a program towards helping children in school. You can't just go and start anyway as though it is a joke. You have to target the areas where it is most needed. This gentleman, there is something wrong with him, right? And if you're going to be calling radio station after radio station, pushing the same lies every day, as though Grenadians are stupid.
But it's hard to defend, in all fairness to him. It's not easy to defend him, this, you know. It's very difficult. And that is why I'm so tolerant and encouraging him to try to defend him, this. You know, easy.
Mr. Pierre, I went up to St. Patrick recently. And when I look at the road condition, you know what it brought me right back to? During the revolution period. Right? This whole country is falling apart. Look at the amount of money that have been squandered in this country. He is talking about of the country economy. Now, I think this gentleman needs to go and seek some medical help. Something wrong with him. The best place I think for him is the pink house. Mr. Pierre, have a good day, sir.
Yes, you see, I think he is tries. In all fairness, it is not easy to defend NDC. The amount of wrong thing NDC doing, it's not easy to defend them. How you go defend GDB Bank? That is common thieves, you know. The door breaks so they gone thief. Not even sophistication. How are you going to defend National Lottery? How are you going to take issue with what the Minister of Housing say? She says it's a disaster. So it is not easy to defend NDC. But I encourage them. If you don't defend NDC, then NNP have a field day. Because they're saying the things that you are doing and you're not even coming up with some justification why you do what you do. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome. Good to hear your voice. Punch.
Mr. Pierre, I hear you saying, how can I think when you say...
I don't the floor. You only are jumping up and saying things and calling on you to defend. I want you to defend NDC action. Don't go back on what NNP do. They punish NNP for their mistakes. Defend NDC.
Well, let me tell you something. Right now, I want a plumber. I can't get a plumber.
You want a plumber?
Yes.
You could pay plumber? Plumber is an expensive thing, you know. I bring a plumber in the house the last time, and when he cried, he charged me $520. When I go back, the thing I am leaking, I just fix it for myself, you know.
Well, I want to know.
I might have to come and do the work here, I'll charge you about $300.
Mr. Pierre.
Not much work can you do.
Not much.
But I don't charge you much.
I try to get a Puma and I can't get one.
I feel a man who can give you.
In this country, we spend $2 billion.
Why would I bring in some Haitian? Let us bring in 20,000 Haitian and Venezuelan.
I don't want them on Grenada.
Why would I want? Well, the CARICOM should ask Donald Trump. All those illegal immigrants, we go take them back. Those from Grenada and the Caribbean. And we must get plumbers from them.
We don't want Donald Trump.
You know fine?
Donald Trump trying to make us save.
What are you planning to do?
Make Grenada save.
Making Grenada what?
They want to tell you to say
He taking back with visa, he said we too rude. We beat him with chest. And say,
that was Africa.
be saying AK speaking, they said I'm greedy and jumping up again, you know. AK speaking Spanish. They want confrontation with Donald Trump.
We had a summit here and and Donald Trump vexed, he blue. That's why he comes wrong with all this thing I think about taking back with them, okay, I think, you know. It's true.
Well, Deacon don't make sense, you know, dealing with a bad man.
Well, I'm African and I'm proud to be African.
Well, he's African. Where going? You know they give rain in Liberia and Ethiopia and a lot of Africans are going.
I'm not a white man pet, as are you.
What was it? Why you call us white man pet? And you sell us in, you don't sell us in the Caribbean, you know. The black man that's, pardon, the black man that sell the children, you know.
NFP is the white man pet. So they're cherishing them.
But the white man bias.
They boy, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom, what did all you? Let me tell you something.
Uncle Sam taking back visa.
When I take it back, we will send somebody men outside back home. Let me tell you something. I live in this country for 2+ years.
You was a revolutionary?
Today, I want a promo, I can get one. We
Well,
spent $2 billion on a and today, 3 years after, you can get a promo.
I'll come and see if I get the diploma again.
You can't get a check in this country after spending $2 billion on a program. What a shame. What a disgrace.
What you spend $2 billion on?
On the money program.
And you can't get plumbers. You don't get doctors outside. You got teachers. You got administrators. You got a peaceful community. You employ 4,000 people. They end up in jail.
Where that money go?
You know that?
Where that money go?
Well, you think it, if you have high, if you have,
$2 billion over the last 10 years. 10 years. Let me tell you something. Stop here. We go fix the agriculture program. With the new program we come.
I don't get a train to. I don't bring a small tractor to pick mango, not going like truck again.
Let me tell you something. This government will fix the program, fix the problem with the
new program.
Agriculture program. New one.
They dish it out already?
Yes,
I don't hear about the program yet.
It's coming.
You feel like giving it?
Stop here.
You watch me. Me and this partner now. I want you to lobby for me to get something in the program.
The marketing board.
You will lobby for me to get something in the program?
Let me tell you, the marketing board. People go come and say, take our cash thing and government go subsidize it. That's the end of that. Anything they put there, anything where they put there, the private sector has to pay 60%, right? The government pays 40%, right? That is best.
Well, that means the private sector in control, you know.
Yes.
Once the government can tell them what to do?
I rather that.
Well, no problem. So what the government do is to sell out the marketing board.
Yes.
Right. Well, so you're a capitalist, you're not a communist. You're a capitalist.
That's 40%. So when you go there and you're going to take things, you can't come and say that government go to subsidize it. That don't. No subsidize it. Private sector have to get a share, 60%. Government getting 60%, any profit in it. Yeah. Government has to put 40% behind private sector 60%.
The prime minister just a smart color.
That's the smartest thing I ever do.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you. The Prime Minister should study agriculture in the Caribbean and have to know that government subsidize agriculture program. And when we had the issue with Saucer, marketing board purchase over 100,000 pounds of Saucer and sacrifice it to convince the Americans. And Grenada is the only country in the region that could sell Saucer in the fresh Saucer. Now some people might say, why not pub Saucer? Well, you can beat Brazil, you can beat Mexico, but we are the only country that could sell fresh Saucer. So a private man would be reluctant to take that risk. The Prime Minister tell you is an agricultural lunatic. He don't have agriculture sense. I hope he get us a smaller version of Green Lake truck to pick the mango. My suggestion, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. I hope to get a smaller version. Your radio in the back play. So we have a bill, so a delayed broadcast. So cut it off and speak. You there, caller?
Miss,
Go right ahead.
Yeah. Let your partner know. If the NDC administration did not cut the money program, he would have get a plumber. So because all the plumbers that the NNP trained, they're working. If that's what he feels, they're working. But the NDC came in and they cut the money program 3 years now. So that's why, because a plumber wouldn't be training for 3 years.
No.
If they didn't cut the money program and they didn't cut the on-the-job training program, and so he would have got a plumber to do his work, right? That's all. That's because he's happened that he can get a plumber and he can get a plumber, or he could probably do like the minister of MIT that went on the block and got builders to
get a builder on the block.
So maybe he should go
on the
corner, because definitely a lot of youths hanging out on the block. He should go pick up a few of them, and they will be able to get the plumbing job for him. And let him know also that the biggest subsidy in the United States of America and Canada is in the agricultural field. And if the government is not prepared to put measures and put things in place to help the farmers, then yes, we are doomed. And we know that this administration is doing nothing for the farming industry in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martin. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Well, his statement, they call that tobacco well pressed. Mostly all the countries in the world that doing well in agriculture, it is heavily subsidized. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre,
hold on. You always defending NNP. Tell me a program in NDC when you could defend. You must give them a blind. Tell me one program they have you could defend.
Mr. Pierre, who that me? NDC?
You have to be versatile in the argument. In the rum shop, sometimes we challenge you to take the opposite side. If you don't know NDC in the rum shop, we just make NDC. Go ahead, brother.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah. When you analyze this NDC administration, we're going history as the most wicked, dishonest government ever passed in Grenada. Because in 2008, you have the Timmer administration, where Timmer was calling upon the people defending. And there was something that the supporters of NDC in 2008 could not defend. Right? But it was difficult. They could not defend. Because it was Scholar sing a song, we can't defend. We can't defend.
The trick scholar,
no. Yeah, right now it is difficult and 10 times difficult for the NDC to come out and defend this government. And when we came out and we speak about the wrong things that this government doing, instead of they tell us we're lying, you know what they're doing? They're attacking the messenger for talking about the wrong thing this government doing. And I looking from time to government, I looking to see what project this government did to help further the development and to employ people. I cannot find now. All what I've seen is project that started under the NMP that they continue to do. And what they do, they change some names and they come with a different name, but it's the same project. And when Mr. P, you have a prime minister that love people, a prime minister only think about himself and his people that he has around him. And when you have him going on a platform and say the only reason, a prime minister saying that the only reason why the NMP getting work because the real NDC don't know the real NMP, who's the NMP. Mr. Pierre, that is a failure for any government. Because if this government, if Prime Minister have some knowledge of politics, he will know definitely NMP has a base, NDC has a base. And NMP need the undecided, NDC need the undecided. And for you as a Prime Minister making that statement, either something was wrong with you, you don't understand politics. If you understand politics, you will never make that statement because you need the people that they not NMP, not NDC. You need them to support you. And when you make a statement like that, what you are saying to the people who are not the real NDC, you don't need them, right? You don't need them, and you have nothing to give them. Only who you have to give is the real NDC. So it's the people of Greater Carrick and Petermatic who don't support, who not a member of NMP, not a member of NDC. Well, just on the first election, you look at the manifesto and look for the party, you see how had the best thing to take on the forward to support them. But when I analyze, recognize with NDC, they don't have good manifesto, exciting manifesto. But what they said in the manifesto, more than 3/4, they
pie in the sky. What they say is pie in the sky. It was unrealistic.
For the people to vote. And when the people vote for them to help better their life, instead of they do and help their life, make their life better.
Thank you, caller.
Worse and worse and worse every day.
Thank you, caller. So, we have another caller. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, if you leave your house and you're going down the road and you have an old piece of dirty pants on you, a tear up shirt, no shoes on your foot, and you're going down the road, do you expect somebody to tell you you're looking nice?
It depends on. Sometimes they know me.
No. Your mode of dress, how you dress, your appearance, everything. You look all ragged, you look dirty, and whatnot.
If it is a woman,
somebody, and it's both a male and female.
The man telling you, "Mama, you're looking very nice."
Do you?
Because a rasta.
Somebody seeing you in that condition and tell you you're looking nice.
The possibility they wouldn't, for argument's sake.
But you step out of your house, you're well groomed, well dressed, as the old people say, speak and span.
You have a nice dandan.
Well, I mean, you have it, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
And you go down the road and somebody say, Mr. Pierre, you look real nice. You look lovely. The shirt fits you well. I love the color of your pants. Wow, that's a new shoe. Wow, Mr. Pierre, is that a new shoe you have there? Where do you buy it, Mr. Pierre? And you take a nice haircut? All these things attribute to you looking nice. But you have some people coming on the radio, Mr. Pierre, and calling the program, and I want to tell you, the government is doing good. The government is doing good. The government is doing good. But they cannot tell you what is the good.
Yes, I've been begging them to defend. You see, I believe we have to have a discussion. So I'm begging them, appealing with them to defend NDC. Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, the thing is so annoying. Every day you're having the same persons coming on the radio and on the government is doing good.
In all fairness,
asking them about the
in all fairness,
program, they squashed the Imani program. That was a good program from the previous government. If they had continued with the program and made it better, then you could say, well, yes, the government did something good. But what is it good the government do to show? You hear they telling Mr. Pierre, the government pay the pension. And as I was telling somebody day before, okay, the government pay the pension. The money the government used to pay the pension, how was it generated?
Yes, caller. Thank you, because
We're going to talk on another time again.
We have one caller, and caller use the last caller. Punch. Let's go, caller.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, punch. Use the last caller.
Yeah, I like that. I like that scenario that lady developed there. But there's two things about this whole issue. The IMF report gives a clear indication of what is the state of the economy in this country. And the state of the economy from the IMF report shows 3.6% growth. Compare that to what has been consistent during the reign of Dr. Kit Mitchell and the NNP party activities. I'm not a party person. I'm an analyst by nature, objective as I could be, I try to be. The evidence shows big difference. The disparity is clear. The level of poverty, or you might say victimization as a result of it, shows up worse during this period than we have had for the past few much years. Even during the Tillman Thomas administration, usually put the whole idea of the party. I'm not a party person, so that I'm not saying that it is NDC during Tillman Thomas.
It was better. NDC was better.
It is Tillman Thomas and whoever is part of what his administration was. Compare it to Kit Mitchell and his administration. Big disparity. But I had two prominent callers call on your program today. There is a forum to be held this afternoon, and they're activists for the party. Actually, one is a representative of the party itself. And that is, I heard Mr.
Caller, your time running out. Let's go.
But there's a forum this afternoon dealing with the issue of that law that the government is
the sex law
to come to Parliament again.
That is sex law.
No, the one that I don't hear you good, honestly.
Well, yeah, and
that the one that redefine what a child should be defined as.
Okay.
Or what we have.
Well, caller, that is a top caller. Call. You have to call all you with that topic. We come to the end of the program.
No.
We come to the end of the program, caller. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. That's a good topic, but it's a topic you have to call Oli. You're at the end of the program. And today we constantly encouraging NDC members. Every time we ask you about NDC in power 3 years, you go back to dark 10 years. One of the things I have to tell you, when responding to what we achieve, sometimes we look at tangibles and something that is not really tangible. And one of the big achievements we had in Grenada was the last structural adjustment program. We did not cut salary. No one lose a job. We did not cut social program. And the International Monetary Fund, coming from Greece, accepted the program. In Barbados, they tell the government, try Kit method. This is not something tangible. So it's not a building. And I encourage the NDC, you must try to defend the NDC retributive policies, where they're going out and trying to destroy people, depriving them of their jobs, their income, contaminating the Public Service Commission, and getting people fired. Because this issue could lead to violence in this country. This issue could break the social fabric. This is tantamount to hate. And because of the policy utterances of the NDC, the militants on the ground, advocating let people starve. Let a pound stone in the river. Jenny Simon complained about drones used to intimidate her. And since Deacon come up with who is the real MDC, we see an upsurge in the level of victimization that is taking place in the country. And we want to warn those ministers. Remember, when the slaves couldn't take more, they burned down the plantation. We're back with you again next week from Monday to Thursday on our program On Target. Thank you very much for participating.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.